half the time we're here.
Okay, this is take one, and this will be welcome only. Is that all right? See, now if I'm looking here, the mic's not picking up my voice.
No, yes, because
It is? Because this doesn't sound like it here. Let's see, testing. It's picking up my voice.
Well, the
Mhm.
microphone always.
Right. That's a solution. Thank you. And look at the camera. Sounds good.
So
Okay.
let's make a try.
Okay, we'll take two. Why don't you come up here and clap? Just get me used to the clap.
Yeah, perfect.
We'll start the routine.
1, 2, 3.
Welcome to the show. At the moment, I'm in Lima, Peru, and I'm broadcasting to North America, Central America, South America, Europe, Asia, because we're all one. I'm a speech and language pathologist and a conscious channel. 1996, I went to heaven, received a blessing to work with angels. My dedication now is strictly enhancing consciousness on the planet. That's what it's all about. This is the initial show. You're a participant. Your responsibility for your own consciousness. Think global, act local. So this is a series. Each one's going to be a little different, focusing on somewhere where spiritual growth occurs. Please benefit from this and share with your loved ones. Enjoy. Now the bio. My name's Samuel Joseph Bell, born in the late 40s in San Jose, California, back when there was apricots. And watched things go from orchards to Silicon Valley, where real estate and the internet, Google and Facebook and, all the big guys are there. Military industrial complex, the whole schmear. And graduated San Jose State, special education credential. Also had a restricted credential as a speech and hearing specialist, majored in speech pathology and audiology. Received a public school special ed certificate and a certificate as a public school audiometrist. That's for hearing testing. Started off in the schools, worked Burbank Unified there in beautiful downtown Burbank, Southern California. 3 years, and then private practice opened, got a state license, California license, LSP 3037. It's been active for 40 years. And anyway, in the whole process, I had a patient who said his daughter was a psychic, and then years later, I called just to see and get information about this person, and later they called back and said they would meet with me on Saturday, and her name was Miss Sylvia Celeste Brown. And I went in and had a reading. She asked me if I wanted to become a minister if I wanted to volunteer in her organization, which I did, of course, after meeting with her. It was the most mind-blowing thing I've ever experienced. Serious telepathy.
I want you to do is when I'm describing something to you, and I will be very specific, tell me whether it's already happened or not. Doesn't mean that I can't go back in the past, but I'd like to get to present and future because I think that's more valid anyway. And if I talk too fast, tell me to stop, and I'll tell you everything. bad, good, warn you, advise you, but I won't control your life because it's between you and God anyway. You say, well, what do I know? Listen, you walked into things that you didn't know what you were doing. You did it. You're like me. We learn as we go. See, the difference between a dummy and an intelligent person, I'm not being discriminatory, is that we can be taught. Do you see what I'm saying? But right now, you're just spinning your wheels. This is what? The 14th of June, July to August. So, we're talking about what?
August.
2 months and 5 days. Big deal. After the last 2-3 years you've been through, you could do that on your ear. You see what I'm saying?
Yes, I could.
Because you've been in a survival pattern.
It's absolute survival pattern.
I hate those. See, I think those are a crisis unto themselves. They are.
Yes.
Because it's that get up,
Crisis
go to
for
work.
me.
You know, it is. I think it is for anybody who's intelligent. If I said to you, now listen to me, what you ought to do is go sort mail and retire and die, you'd say, I might as well shoot myself.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Because you've always been this humanitarian, rescuer, I want to make better, harmony person. You can't put a person like you in a box and expect him to be happy.
No.
But I see you also in a private practice. But you don't have a window yet. You can't jump through the wall. August 20th, somebody comes in, and what I call in my business a lightning bolt
Okay.
type of effect, you know what I mean, opens the doors for you.
All right.
So, but look,
So that's a positive? Excuse me. for interrupting.
oh, it is.
It's a positive.
Absolutely. Otherwise, I'd say stay. Yeah. Not only is it more money, but you get more prestige, more note. Then you start doing some writing on what your findings are. Do you see what I'm saying? Right now, you're so bored and burned out, you couldn't bring it up if you had to. That's what we call the survival mechanism.
Okay.
It's like get up, force yourself through, go home, go to bed. Look around you. Your personal life has been shot. Your social life is, your work life. You see what I'm saying? All these areas. Not that they're rotten. It's just the sameness of it.
Yes.
It's like a pancake.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like a pancake.
It is a pancake. Don't discredit, though, not for 1 second, the fact that you haven't been through a really spiritual trial. Now, you may not have called it that, but that's exactly what it is. And let me tell you what you've learned. Obviously, the survival. Not so obvious, tolerance, patience, aloneness. See, those are lessons we can't even pay for. I mean, but look, they're not pleasant, but that is spiritual. See, I say to people, I don't care if you kneel and pray and go to church. All that's wonderful, but it's what we do in life that's the spirituality of things. Absolutely.
Is what the definition of it would
Yes.
I have a list of questions. Can I just
Oh,
ask you a question?
go in there and get them.
New Zealand. That's my question. I have a fabulous home in New Zealand. I love my home in New Zealand. Should I live in my home in New Zealand? I don't have the money to make payments. What should I do?
Stay here till you get the money.
Stay here till I get the money.
And you will in 3 years. You will in 3 years. You'll bank back, and then you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay. You don't have any suggestions on how to do it, though?
Yeah, because it'll come to you.
It'll come to me.
That's what I'm saying. On August 20th, somebody comes to you and offers you.
So somehow just hang on till August 20th?
Yes,
By
and
hook or by
that's
crook?
by hook or by crook. It just passes.
Okay.
Somebody by the name of David comes in and
You ever go to New Zealand? You want to go to New Zealand? My house is your house. Okay?
they say New Zealand is where God is.
Just some general questions. I'm trying to save the world in
Yes,
general. Do you have any
somebody-
suggestions on how to do that?
One by one person.
One by one. And how can I best improve myself?
By quit being so obsessive about everything.
Quit being obsessive about everything.
And quit thinking that you've got this time limit on yourself. Because you don't. You've got a very long life.
Okay.
Just because you died early in other lives doesn't mean you're going to do it in this one.
Okay. And extremely quickly, who am I? Where was I before I came here, and where am I going afterwards?
Well, you were a barrister in England. You were an alchemist in France. You were a monk in the Tibetan order. You were a priest in Germany. You were a traveling minstrel during the 1100s. You were a knight in tin. You were a holy man in India. You were a captain on the East Coast. You were a plantation owner, but you didn't keep slaves. You didn't like it. You had people work for you, but you didn't keep slaves. You've been all over the place.
And where will I go? Is that a question? Is that
New Zealand. You'll end up in New Zealand.
in the future, in the next life?
But you're not coming back. This is your last life.
This is my last life. And then what?
Then we go to the other side and have a hell of a good time.
So this is my last life.
Yes.
So is that why I feel the way I feel?
That's why you've got a sense of homesickness.
Thank you so much for that answer.
Serious telepathy. And I learned a lot. So I did volunteered every day, every hour that the office was open. Then she asked me if I would want to become a minister in training, which I said yes. So she waived the fees, which is pretty cool. And while I was a minister in training on September 20th, I want to say September 20th, I want to say it was like a Friday night, she channeled Rahim, who's a master teacher. Now her spirit guide's Francine, but occasionally she channels Rahim, and I was encouraged to stay, and Rahim came through. It was such a different feeling than Francine. And at that time, it was just a very powerful thing. Went home, went to sleep, 3 o'clock in the morning, got up to use the toilet. On my way back to my bed, I felt a feeling in my chest. You know when you get a cramp in your leg? It's just before the cramp hits, you got this in your calf, you have this little tingle like, a kramp's going to come. Well, I had that feeling in my chest. Right in my chest. And it's like, you're in healthcare, chest cramp is like, it doesn't sound good. As I'm laying down, I'm very alert, because this chest thing's like, I'm really alert. As I'm laying down, as my back is laying back, a light comes out of my chest. And I want to say it was reflected out of my chest. But I didn't see it go in. And this light, I'm just going to use words, but the words are not possible to describe it. This light went into my chest. It went to eternity, but did not come out of my back. What does that mean? You know what I mean? What does that mean? And that the light was the shape of Target stores, that's the Target logo. It's like a little dark thing and then a big ring around it. That's exactly what this light was like. It's called the point within the circle. And it started on the right side, and it started getting like this. And about right here was the single cone, but right in the middle of the single cone, I went into it. And I don't know if it went down or up or whatever. I just went into it. So, now to back up a bit, before the cramp's happening and I'm laying down, and then a light is going to come out of my chest, and I'm going to watch the light, and it's going to look like if you had a campfire and it was real dark at night and you had a fire, and then you poured water on it before you went to bed, and that white smoke and steam would be going up, and then you shined a real bright light through it. The beam of light would have that white smoky kind of thing. That's what it was like. But it was like hard as marble. And it felt like a 220 volt electric shock of unconditional love. That's what I'm trying to explain it. It just felt like a giant electronic shock of electronic love. And all I could think was, it's so clear in my mind, all I could think was this is the energy that makes the stars and the planets go around. This is the energy that makes the stars and the planets go around. So I was like, oh my God. So, I'm not very smart. It's kind of obvious, I'm sure. So I go into this light, and then I'm kind of like, what the hell? Am I in heaven? What's going on? What is this? So, yeah, I'm like, it must be heaven. It's like heaven. So then this light on my left is just there like a cone of light, not a cone, but a column of light, and inside the column of light is an image, an outline of an image of somebody. But they're more white than the column of light. But it's not burning me or anything, but it's just really white. And you can see the outline. And it's somebody named David. I don't know who it is. I'm sorry, I don't know, but I know his name's David, and he's some heavyweight dude on the other side, big time. So I look at him, and now this is telepathically connection, right? Because it's the same as your mouth movement, but your mouth doesn't move. It's exactly the same, but your mouth doesn't move. So I look at him and I go, are we in heaven? And he goes, and I'm like, what the hell? How can there be a heaven? How can there be a heaven? If there's a heaven, there's a God. If there's a God, why in the hell would there be a World War II? Why would there be a Vietnam? Why would there be a World War I? Why are people, droning people that are sleeping in tents with goats? Why? Why would they make a Hitler? Why, if there's a God, why would he make a Hitler? This David entity in this cone of light looks at me and goes, like, look over there. Okay, so I look over there. What the hell? There's Hitler. There's Hitler. He's in like about 8 rows of elevated stands, and he's all surrounded by his mucky mucks, and they're all in their fancy uniforms, or at least look really spiffy. And in front, it's a review stand, and in front are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of marching Nazis. Real marching Nazis. And they got the bayonets and the rifles and the goose step. And it's real. It's not fake. It's real. It's as real as you're sitting there watching this program. It's real. And the ground's going boom, boom, boom. It's a cadence thing, I'm like, oh, geez, what the hell is this? And when the troops would get in front of Hitler, they would turn and look at Hitler and they go, "Hi, Hitler." All at once. And then the next row would come and they go, "Hi, Hitler." I'm like, what the hell? What the hell's going on? Then Hitler and his group around him, the people around Hitler going, "Hi, Hitler." And they're just doing that. And Hitler's going. He's doing like that. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? So I look at David. David's like, look over there. I look back over. Hitler floats straight up in the air. And he floats like this, and he floats straight out over the marching Nazis. And he comes down and he impales himself on the bayonets. His body comes down and he gets stuck on the bayonets, and they march away with him. And now I'm all screwed up. What the hell's this about? And then the terrible part started. I hear all these people screaming and crying, wailing. They're screaming, Adolf. They're screaming, Adolf, stop. We forgive you. It was all the people he had killed. And I'm all like, what the hell is this about? And David comes over, puts his arm around me, and he said, all those people wanted to learn more compassion, more unconditional love. So they waited to incarnate when a Hitler would incarnate. And that's why Earth is there.
We have 4 of them around us?
You have 4.
I have 4.
You have 4.
So
Some people have 2.
I'm a big guy.
Well, that's it.
I got connections, right?
You got connections.
And what do these angels do?
The angels are really protectorates. You know, there's so many things that people say, oh, well, what the hell do they do? But, you know, I think there's so many things that you're saved from that you don't realize that you were saved from. You know, it's like a near-miss accident, a near-miss fall. They protect you.
So the angels are there, and who sends them? God sends
God
them?
sends them. They're from God. They're directly from God.
What do you think happens? I mean, you communicate with dead people, right?
Yeah, I do. Sure I do.
You okay?
Yeah, well, my ear thing is goofy, but that's all right.
We'll fix it. You communicate with dead people.
Yes.
You do psychic readings.
Yes.
You work with the police on murders investigations.
Yes, and I'm on Learning Annex tour.
You toured learning annexes all over.
Right.
What is this gift, and why do you have it and he don't?
I don't know. I guess I was going to say unlucky.
You don't like it, do you?
Oh, I do. And most of the time when I help people, I do, Larry. But see, I do come from 300 years. I mean, this is absolutely valid. 300 years of psychics. Everybody in my family, from my mother's side, was a working psychic.
But what is this ESP? Is this what is psychic?
I don't know what it
What
is.
to you is it?
I believe that it comes from God. I think I'm nothing more than a tool by which energy or this thought processes come in. The same as I could never be if I said to you, Larry, why are you such a good interviewer? You'd say, I just am because I am, wouldn't you? See, if you say to me, Sylvia, how come you are? I'd say, I am because I am.
Open and drink. The earth is a school. The earth is a school. This is a school to learn lessons through experience. Then you're not going to learn lessons like this in heaven. It's not going to happen. You don't pay taxes in heaven. You don't put too much chlorine in the pool in heaven. The elevator doesn't break in heaven. Now all that stuff happens here. So everybody's at a different level of consciousness. Everybody's at a different level of consciousness. And everyone is at a different level of lessons to be learned. Now everybody was in first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, sixth grade, seventh grade, high school, college, university, PhD, postgrad. Not everybody. We all get kind of sorted out at whatever level we are in education. Also in spirituality. spirituality. Spirituality has to do with your intentions and your actions, not your words. Your intentions and your actions. Trust me, when you get to the other side, nobody's going to ask you anything but who did you love and how did you love them. The earth is a school. So now you can learn your lessons the hard way, you can learn them the easy way. You know, the teacher says, I want you to do the times tables, the 3 times tables tonight and bring it in tomorrow. Well, you do them, probably you're going to get a passing grade and you'll pass the test. But if you don't do them, you're lazy, it's not going to work. So something not good will happen. So the goal is to learn your lessons with the least amount of pain. Repeat, spiritually, your goal is to learn your lessons with the least amount of pain, because you're going to learn them anyway, pal. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is. You enrolled in this school. You actually charted out those lessons. Now, from where you are, it's like, I don't know what the hell's going on. For the guardian angel and the spirit guides, they are just a little higher up and they can see a little further down over the horizon. And they're going, uh-oh, check this out, or, oh, good, this is coming. So they can help. They can help. Now, it's really important to understand. Fernando. Hi, Fernando. Say hi.
Hi.
Good. Other side of the camera. Man, I'm glad Fernando's here. If I'm going to call Fernando, I got to pick up the cell phone and, hit, recent calls, and his name pops up and I dial it and hits Fernando. I just can't pick up my phone and start talking into it. I have to direct the phone to him. Same way with guardian angels. Guardian angels, they're a messenger. They are a messenger. Your guardian angel is a messenger. They're commanded to bring your message to a specific entity. Okay? So your mom, your child's late from school, you're kind of worried, it's not the end of the world, but you really want to protect this guy. Well, you're a mother. Tell your guardian angel, please, I petition you, bring this petition to Mother God. Protect my son. I petition and ask that in Mother God's name. Your guardian angel is going to take off on a dirt bike like you've never seen. Deliver that message to another mother who's a big kahuna. You're talking big power. Now, let's say the cat's up on the roof and, you're kind of worried. You don't have to go to Mother God. You say, Archangel Michael, please help me with the cat. You don't want to overdo it. And if you're full of BS, they're not going to do anything. So you understand that. If you play the act like, you're Joe Saintly or Mary, super duper saint, but it's all an act, it's not going to work. Your petitions, your specific, polite demands via your guardian angel to a deity or a higher archangel, it's not going to have any weight. Okay? You're not going to fool anybody. They don't accept federal dollars. It's your intention, your willpower, and your ability to focus. Things you had before you were born, things you have now, and things you will take after you pass on. That's all you're going to take. Trust me. You go to the hospital, see you want to, X-ray or CAT scan of your willpower. Your ability to focus. No, I want a picture of my unconditional love. Well, I don't. It's not going to happen. Those are things you got to exercise now. And you exercise them by treating yourself and others in a loving fashion and using your mind and your willpower and the unconditional love in your heart to treat yourself in a loving way. Now, one way to do that is to reduce stress. And to reduce stress, you're talking about meditation.
The way I read in Ayurveda, the first prime mantra or a divine knowledge in the form of that little chanting, they say that chikitsat punnitam nakinchit, which means blessed are those who get to expose to this pure knowledge called Ayurveda.
Really?
Not that everybody will have even access to it. It comes into your life as a healer and also as a practitioner because of your karmas. That is a very strong version of Ayurveda. And I was so intrigued just to know the meaning of this, that it is a privilege when you are given, because when you get a chance to heal a body and a soul living within, it is nothing but Him who manifests in the form of that physical body, appears in front of you and takes your exam. And
That's pretty heavy.
when
Really?
when you look at the pulse of an individual, you make a prayer, chanting a mantra, telling him that here is another soul, part of you, which is actually you. You have given this privilege for me to be able to see this body and this body and the soul within. And you give me the best of intellect so that I get best of information, so that I'm able to transfer, which is again coming through you.
But you don't call that channeling? Do you call that channeling or no? I call it channeling.
Yeah, well,
You're
you can
talking to
call it.
source,
Exactly.
and you're getting information,
Exactly.
and it's for healing,
And they say,
and it's spiritual.
right, the moment you put that intention and make an honest prayer to Him, no matter what, you give dust from the ground to the patient and he has to heal.
To interrupt briefly, the spontaneousness of the intention is how critical.
Thing is, this I learned with experience, that everything happens for a reason. When you get to see somebody, when a doctor-patient interaction happens, it was destined to be at that moment. He had created that reason. He creates that situation. So when you remember that, and with total surrender to Him, you say, okay, I'm also a puppet of yours, and so is the patient. So you are the only one who is going to initiate this healing process and take it further.
Now, what's the billing code for that? And in your intention, do you say, I want to make a lot of money? No.
Never.
No.
As I said, chikitsat punyatam na kinchit, which also means that there is no other way to earn good karmas in your life, which is the best earning of this lifetime.
It's the
It's
only
more
reason you
than-
incarnate.
Yeah,
You
it's-
can't do this on the other side.
Right. It's not about the money. It was about good karmas. It was given a privilege to you to be able to do that. Rest, everything is beside.
You refer to a male aspect of source, and what you just described is sort of the female aspect, in that it's the compassion, the limitless, unconditional patience and love that you would have for a son, a mother has for a son, but additionally you're describing that as for one soul communicating with another soul, two sparks of the divine healing and learning together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to direct a question, a very specific question, can you repeat those words again that you said when you start?
We say chikitsat punyatam na kinchit.
And that means what? This is from Sanskrit, correct?
It is from
And this
Sanskrit.
means what?
Which means there is no other best karma in your lifetime than to be a true healer. Which means that is your true earning.
Yeah.
When you talk about earning aspect.
Right, the true value.
Yeah. Earning is not materialistic word. But earning is that pure knowledge, that by that pure service
Yeah.
to the humanity, which connects you to divine.
Now, to interrupt you again, you're using the word knowledge as compared to belief.
Mm-hmm.
So you've spent a career healing people, so you don't have a belief, do you? You have the knowledge of it.
Right. I had the knowledge, and when I started applying it in the beginning, I was taking it as an information. And it took some time for me to understand how to convert actually information is not merely the objective. Knowledge was the objective. And when you start incorporating that pure knowledge, applying to your own self and to all your patients, it's an incredible learning experience.
An understatement.
And it's-
An understatement. Along that same line of thought, when I was in college, quantum hologram was not a term we used. Today, the quantum hologram is something people are learning about,
Mhm.
and that thoughts are things. So those words that you said, those ancient Sanskrit words, it's not the sounds as much as the thoughts that are attached to those sounds.
Mhm.
And I suspect, I'd like your opinion on this, does that resonate on some spiritual level that opens the door?
By all means, if you look into the open session of Ayurveda, the main example, this is unparalleled example of entire history of medicine, which tells you what does the health mean and why do you need good health. Where it says that way back, many thousands of years ago, there was a kind of a roundtable conference held somewhere in Himalayas, where people from intellectual class of the society got together from all over the world. And then they were like intellectuals or so-called white-collared class of the society of that time. Opinion framers or thinkers of the society. And they asked him, to the Creator, a basic question.
Oh, I love it.
They said, why are we here on this earth?
Oh, I love it.
What is the purpose? What is that we have to achieve? The very basic question which comes to humans' mind
Yeah.
all the time.
Why?
Right.
What the hell? What's going on?
Exactly. When he asked this question, the Creator of the universe said, well, this is my creation. I am the Supreme Soul, or Paramatman in Sanskrit we say, the Supreme Consciousness. And all of you are my subdivisions, subconsciousness.
Sparks of the divine.
And your basic purpose is to achieve, to do best of your karma towards yourself, family and society, and ultimately come back to me and achieve the state of liberation or salvation, or different religions also call it with a different expression.
At your true home.
Uh-huh.
Whatever
Right.
Mormon, atheist, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You just can look at your actions and intentions.
When everybody understood that ultimate goal is to achieve the ultimate state of liberation, one fellow stood up. He said, sir, can I ask one question? His name was Rishi Bharadwaj. Rishi Bharadwaj said, sir, if that is the ultimate goal, can you please give us something to keep us physically, mentally and spiritually pure and healthy,
Go Rashi.
so that we are able to achieve the goal of salvation
Go, Rashi.
comfortably?
And?
The Creator said, in a tricky way you have asked me a big favor. But now since you have asked me, let me share this divine knowledge. He used the word divine knowledge, which was meant for the gods, but I'm going to share with all of you human beings on this earth.
Because you knocked and opened the door.
Yes. He said, and this will act like an important tool to make you physically, mentally and spiritually pure and healthy.
Yeah, but what will make any money? Come on now.
Well, that was not the purpose.
What?
So let me complete this sentence. And he said, this knowledge called Ayurveda will make you physically, mentally and spiritually pure and healthy, so that you are able to achieve the ultimate goal of salvation comfortably. This is the unparalleled example out of entire history of medicine, which tells you why the hell do you need good health? Having a strong body like Arnold Schwarzenegger and six-pack muscles was not the only goal.
No.
The goal was even beyond this body. When you drop the body after the death, you want to achieve the ultimate state of salvation. Because permanent physical health also don't sustain forever. That was pure knowledge. That was the strongest connection between spirituality and healthcare.
Wow.
Wanted. There have been lots of calls, but no confirmed sightings. Today, this engineer and teacher thanked and are here to try to solve that mystery by retracing their daughter's last known steps.
To let me go, and it's very hard to let your children, when they're growing up, to let them go.
Since their daughter's disappearance, the Mata Fairies have appeared on national shows, including America's Most Wanted.
Oh, okay, more serious business. Now, Sylvia Browne, okay. Get this blessing to work with angels, okay. So I'm getting frustrated. I'm really getting frustrated because I want people to communicate with their guardian angel. Hello, guardian angel, to learn your lessons with the least amount of pain. And I only really talked to like 2 people in, a year and a half. They really wanted to talk to their guardian angel. It was pretty sad. And I tried a lot. Of course, you go to the other side and get a blessing like that, you don't come back normal. So people pretty quickly figure out, something's, this guy wants to talk to angels. Hello, goodbye. So the 2 were, one was a lady, an Asian lady on Geary, San Francisco. She had this big overcoat on. She was at a bus stop. She was crying. She had just been diagnosed with some kind of horrible cancer. She just smelled terrible. We both hugged and cried. I channeled a guardian angel. And the other one was a especially beautiful Iranian woman. And everywhere she went, people looked at her because she was just so beautiful, just without any makeup. And she's just so beautiful. And she was just like kind of having a really hard time with it. And those are the only 2 people. And I probably communicated with at least 150, at least, more than that. So I was at the point where I'm giving up psychic stuff. It's just angel stuff. So, okay. I'm on 48th Avenue in San Francisco, which is at the beach. It's 1 block from the beach. Kind of like under the Golden Gate Bridge at the Cliff House, if you know where the Cliff House is. And I'm staying there, and I'm clicking the clicker, watching, And nothing's happening, and there's only not many stations where I am. So I see this lady, and she's crying. And I don't care what it is. I'm just clicking. So when I see her, she's crying and her lips going like this. It's going like this. And you're starting to cry or something. And my lips started doing that. It was like really weird. My lips started going like that, and I click around, and my lip kept doing that. So I go over again, and there's the lady, she's going, and my lip just kept doing that. I'm like, what the, and I click around again. It was only like about 6 or 7 stations. And then I get to the end, and she's going, oh, my daughter, find my daughter. This is San Francisco. We need my daughter. And I'm like, what? That's weird. That's so weird. And then the show ended. That's all I saw. That's all I know. It was a Sally Jesse Raphael show in New York. That's all I saw. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll, I had been looking for young children that were females that had been abducted and had some success. And I had found a murderer with Leo Jones Fargo Countermeasures and found the murderer at Half Moon Bay, not too far away. So I'm thinking, well, my lip is going, it's just find this girl, find this missing girl. So I asked Daisy, should I look for the girl? Daisy said yes. And I said, is the girl alive? And Daisy said no. And Daisy said she was underwater, but she was okay. She was dead, she was underwater, but she was okay because she passed on. I'm like, okay. So I said, well, Daisy, will you bring me to where it happened? Will you bring me to something? She said she'd bring me to some stuff, so just some evidence. I'm like, okay, cool. So I go down, get him the Volvo. Daisy goes left, right, go here, go there. Park the car over in the parking spot where she says to park. Go down the trail. She brings me exactly to the spot. I look, I don't see anything. I keep looking and looking and looking and looking. Brings me back to the spot again. I look and there's a hole. You'll see it. It was down a hole. And there was a piece of cement and some water and seaweed. Daisy said, it's down there. I don't see anything. It's in the cement wall at the ocean. So I put my foot down in there, wiggled the piece of cement, and the water goes down and the seaweed moves and a pair of shoes float up to the top.
Today is October 15th, 1997, and my name's Samuel Bell. I'm a spiritual channel, and yesterday after I watched the Sally Jessy Raphael show, I asked my guardian angel if I should look for this missing person, Kristen. I have a 13-year-old daughter, and I'm preoccupied with safety, so I was quite motivated by the psychic suggestion to land. I asked my guardian angel if I should look for Kristen, and I got the answer yes. And then I asked my guardian angel if I would find Kristen, and the answer was yes. And then I asked the question, is she underwater? And the answer was yes. So I relaxed and waited for a while and repeated the same procedure, asked the question, should I look for Kristen? Yes. Would I find Kristen? Yes. And is she underwater? Yes. So I jumped in my Volvo and drove over to below Lewis's restaurant where I eat frequently, and went on down and searched all around. Twice I asked my guardian angel which direction, and twice it was confirmed down the path, down towards the old pool area, and in a sort of like a water chute through cement block, which goes down, sort of like an elevator shaft about this size. I saw a circular piece of cement, you know, like a piece of cement you'd see in a post hole when you pull it up out of the ground. You know, this kind of ugly looking round piece of cement. And I thought that's kind of odd for that, you know, someone to actually lug this big piece of cement over here and drop it in that hole. And I thought, well, maybe it was, you know, made in the hole. So I put my leg down in there and wiggled this circular piece of cement, and it moved. And then the water drained down. I guess I moved the seaweed, and the opening cleared. And then the heels of two shoes became apparent. And I looked at that for quite some time, asked my guardian angel if those were her shoes. My guardian angel said yes. So I didn't disturb them, and I walked all the way around again, came back to the same spot, and specifically focused with my guardian angel and asked, are these her shoes? And it said yes. My guardian angel said yes.
My name's Leo Jones. I'm in San Francisco. I'm with Sam Bell on our way to San Francisco. We're driving down the Coast Highway. You'll soon see the waves that are going up to near the Cliff House, where Sam is going to try to locate a body that's believed to be there. So far he's found the shoes, and the shoes apparently belong to the victim. So now he's going to try and locate the body. It was down the sand someplace.
Yeah, they were buried under the water.
Under the water?
Yeah, under the water, under a rock.
Yeah. What does this say in here?
It says Comfort Plus, wide width, 8 wide. And she's been gone for almost 2 months, and these look like they could have been underwater for 2 months. So, bless her heart.
Now what? This has got to be this girl's shoes. You know, I call the homicide detective and say, you know, I talked to Angels and it's this the girl's shoes. I'm their guy. Hello? Sammy, go bye-bye. So, kind of freaked me out. You know, what do I do? Do I risk my neck to try to stop the suffering for this mom? I know the girl's probably already dead. That's what Daisy said. And it felt like these are the girl's shoes. Should I just keep my mouth shut? Now I got these shoes. Now what do I do? Put the shoes in my car? What if I put the shoes in my car, the Volvo, and I'm driving back? You know, come on. What should I do? Daisy said, I'll protect you. I'm like, okay, thank you, Daisy. I called the Oakland homicide detective, 3:30. 3:30, I called the Oakland homicide detective. Yeah. He's really respectful. Actually, that's not correct. He's really, 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 really respectful. He inquires the whole story. He says he'll be there tomorrow with his supervisor or his partner. So, at the time I was an instructor with Leo Jones, Fargo Countermeasures. Countermeasures is, protection from spies and producing equipment that can be used for spying. Not using it, but producing the equipment for it. And Leo was the main guy, Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, not the FBI though. He didn't make stuff for the FBI. He was also with a whole bunch of people. Let me just leave it at that. Anyway, so Leo said, well, I'll go with you. So you'll actually see Leo in the video, the old guy sitting there. No Sam Bell driving on the Pacific. You'll see Leo. That's Leo Jones, Fargo Countermeasures. He's the real deal. Leo's the real deal. As a matter of fact, to use the reference, Oakland homicide detective was contacted by the missing girl's mother at 3 o'clock. I called him at 3:30. The Oakland homicide detective listened to the mother say that the FBI psychic named Dorothy Allison, who she was on the show with, the Sally Jesse Raphael show, after the show ended, walked off the stage, took a pen and paper, and wrote down 3 names. One of the names was Bell. That's my name, Sam Bell. She said, I immediately walked to the phone and called the Oakland homicide detective from New York and told him that the 3 names, and said one of the names was Bell, and that he would get involved and find evidence.
Great. Saves me asking you a bunch of questions.
Yeah. I have a web page, www.sambell.com.
Oh, okay.
And what I do is I channel guardian angels for free. I videotape it, spiritual questions only, and then I market the videotapes. So for people that want to learn about the other side.
Okay.
I know it's unusual, but...
Well, there's a lot of things about this case that are unusual, and let's see, we can get down there, down these.
See now, the lighting, I had to get down on my knees and look, because the lighting's kind of tricky. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Now, one shoe was on that side, and one shoe was on that side. And the water level was higher, right?
Oh.
And I was standing there looking over here, right?
Uh-huh.
And I looked at that and I thought, what's that in there for? And I thought, for a prank, that's too heavy for a prank.
Yeah.
So I got in, put my foot in just like this, locked it, and then some seaweed washed out. And then the water level went down, and then the shoes were evident. Follow me? Yeah. So then I walked away because I had, oh my God, this is this girl's shoes maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And I felt kind of creepy. And then I came back, and then I thought, what should I do? I'm going to go up top, see if anybody's here. I'm starting to get antsy. I want to start looking for this young lady, stop this suffering for these parents. Getting a little bit frustrated, to be honest with you. I've done everything I could. Yes?
We just wanted to mention that, you know, we've been working with Dorothy Allison. Do you know Dorothy Allison?
No, I don't.
Do you know her name? She's
Know of her?
Do you know
No, I don't.
She's a very well-known and very well-respected psychic who
Yes.
works with the police and the FBI
on missing
missing persons
Yes.
cases, and she's going to come out here to help us.
Right.
She has a family
She feels there's
crisis now.
clues in this area, so even though these shoes may not have been the clues we're looking for, but she feels strongly that there are clues to be found here on the beach.
And she mentioned in her, she gave us a sheet of paper with some clues to check out, and she gave us 3 last names, and one of the last names was Bell.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's me.
So that means
Good.
that means that you need to keep looking.
Yeah.
Now the mother, the reason I did the whole thing was the mother was suffering. I knew the girl was dead. Okay? And the girl was okay. She doesn't want the mother to suffer, but the girl's okay. She's in heaven. Really. The other side's really nice. Really, 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 really nice. So the mother was suffering terribly and not knowing what's going on. And the father was an educator. He was like a really grounded guy. They were a really nice couple, and she was suffering so much. And that's why I got involved and called to stop this mother's suffering, because she was suffering so much. My lip went nuts, and I was driven. And Daisy said she'd protect me. And I'm like, holy mackerel. So there was a $10,000 reward. I said to the mother, and I said to the father, I'm just trying to help you with that. I'm just trying to help you with that. I don't want the reward. I don't want the reward.